The way that Intel has handled this has been so unbelievably bad. Huge scandal right now with
I've heard that
Intel's
like the 13th, 14th gen chips are severely so much so that I think there's literally a class action lawsuit now against them.
They went from like 150 bill market cap to 100 bill. The question is, how early is too early to buy into something that will be valuable? Certainly the only company that will have high-tech fabs in the United States is going to have value. They're building out these massive fabs inside the United States. There's so much lack of confidence in Intel right now, it's trading below its book value. That's the wild thing. The thing I messaged you today, you open to discuss that a little bit right now?
Sure. I feel like you're gonna get super triggered in this discussion, but yeah, let's go.
Ooh. Maybe I don't want to discuss it then until I just force it.
I think it's a good idea. I just think there's 0% chance of it ever working. I would love to do something like this, but there's just no chance.
I would love to also.
Yeah. Dan wants to do like adversarial interviews. Basically, you find people that are involved in like a current drama, a current crazy thing, and then you bring them on and you ask them like actual tough questions about it to like really get to the meat of it. I think something like that would be fucking awesome. But the thing is, nobody would ever want to agree to that unless they're a total loser and they're like on all portions of the
I don't agree. All right. So let me give my take on. So I just woke up and I decided that I know you like Lex very much, but I just made a post out. I'm not a fan of what he's doing. Okay. And I thought to myself, like, what would be better? And I think that first off, it doesn't have to be entirely adversarial, but it should be a real interview. Like, it's not like, hey, so tell us, like, why is everything you've done so good? Like, that would, it's not good. I think that when you do an interview, the idea is to get information from the candidate that we do not already have, to understand something that we don't understand. So that can be like, hey, listen, you put this plan in place to help poor people by giving them food stamps. Why did you go that direction instead of this or something else? Like that's not a adversarial question, but it's a question that we don't know the answer to that I would like to ask. Now, with that, there's also stuff that is adversarial. Okay, I think that if you do get, as an example, if you do get Trump on, you're not asking him about his golf swing. Okay, if you do get Elon on, you're not asking him about, random bullshit. You're being like, you're giving real tough questions. And I think the most important thing is that when you ask the question and they don't answer it, we just stay there until they answer it. And that's it. And I like that as basically as a concept of what it is, actually getting answers out of people doing it. Now, everyone's like, that would be awesome, but who would agree? That is the stumbling block, but I think you guys are mistaken on one part. The people that need this interview are usually narcissists, I would imagine, usually people who are desperate to get their side of the story out, and usually people that would think that they're going to be the one that wins. I can point you to one example of this. Who the is responding to Coffeezilla's emails or interviews? None of them are positive. You know what's coming on that situation, but people do it. Why? And the simple answer is all of these people think that they're going to be the one that is going to break the mold and be like, oh shit, that makes sense. Because they're narcissists. So I do think it would work. I think you build your way up, right? Like we didn't, with anything else, like the guest caliber that we're getting is continuing to go up and up and up as a result of that, because people look at it and they're seeing what we've done. I'm not saying that we're going to start with Elon Musk on day one, obviously, but can we start with a local politician? Maybe. Can we start with someone who's going through some real drama right now? Like it doesn't have to be like politically solely focused. It can be anyone. It can be a Twitch streamer currently involved in drama. It can be someone that's running a business that just fired all of their staff, or someone that's reinventing their shit. It could be the CEO of Intel. Like, I think that's a format that's not done right today. And with the exception of like Coffeezilla, but his shit is not interview based. It is.
That's true, but I think it's because he's doing the investigations as well. He's basically getting like a first comment, right?
Yeah, exactly. But that's where I think the opening is for us to do.
But we would have to do investigations. Like for Coffeezilla, like he's about to expose you. Like you kind of have to talk to him. If we're just hopping on drama that's already been exposed, then
we're asking questions, right? So for instance, as an example, a great person to come on to do something like this would be like George Santos. right? Like, I want to get George Santos on. I don't want to give him like, it's not like a funny meme thing. It's like a real interview. So like, what happened? What really, like, what was the point of this? Like, obviously, so we know, like, you did drag before. Why did you even want to be a Republican in that case? Why not run as a Democrat?
Sure.
Right? Like,
I mean,
these are
listen,
fucking awesome
there's no
questions
point. Listen, there's no point arguing over it. I would do this 1,000,000,000%. If you can find the guest or find somebody to find the guest or get somebody on, I will do 1,000,000,000,000% with you. 100. And actually, you bring up Santos. We were literally in a Twitter space. He's tweeted about me before. Yeah. Reach out to that guy. Try to get him on. Yeah, we could do it. Fuck it. Yeah.
Okay. I think this is like a very good thing to do. And I think it lines up perfectly. Like one of the best memes we did was like the Ted Zwieba one. I loved that thing on startups. It started off just like getting basic information, and then we get into it, and I love it. It's awesome. Okay, yeah. That's what I want. That's what I want to do. I think that's another good thing to do. Obviously, to start, we're not gonna be able to do it once a week, but as it gets going, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, it could even just be like a special edition episode. Yeah.
No, it's not special. It's something different. It's not. I think this would not be Patreon. This would not be paywalled at all. It'd be totally free.
Just the man of the people. Wow.
For this, yes, this is different. Okay. It's not anything else thing. It would be something else. You could call it something else.
Actualize.org. This guy shouted you out today on his blog. I don't know who the this is. Leo's blog, infinite insights, miscellaneous bits of wisdom and resources on personal development, life purpose, philosophy, epistemology, non-duality, psychedelics, published randomly throughout the week. Oh my God. This is a cult leader? Oh boy. He's got 104 million views on YouTube. How can he be a cult leader? What are you talking about? Oh, he's got over 1 million subs. This guy is a... Wait, he has over 1 million subs? But only 104 million views on YouTube? Wait, how many views do I have on YouTube? The fuck?
How are his views, though?
Well, 600. I bet this guy has less than 500,000 views a month. That's my guess. How am I so good? I see into the matrix and I see the numbers. I just see everything. How the fuck does he have so many? It must be an old channel or a dead channel maybe? Or I don't know. Let's see. Insight, penetrating mental vision or discernment. The sudden act of grasping the inner nature or truth of a situation. A deep understanding of a person or thing. Insights here are meant to be quick and half-baked. Consider these food for thought. I've deliberately disabled comments to keep the blog streamlined. If you want to discuss any of the blog posts, you can do so here. What is a woman? Oh boy. The following example perfectly illustrates the stark difference between low and high cognitive development. Destiny's the only one here as a clue. Ha! I like this cult leader. I support this guy's cult, actually, now. Low cognitive development. Everyone in the video except Destiny. True! Isn't construct aware, so it takes categories for granted as objective. Moreover, low cognitive development is so unaware that it can't even understand how something like a woman can be a complex, metaphysically loaded question. Therefore, it laughs at a serious answer. Wait. Okay, wait. I'm not trying to write the writer. But this is super true. A lot of people take categories for granted, and they don't have any idea that like categories exist. They just assume it's like a feature of the universe. This is something I talked about like 12 years ago. Not really. Wait. When was 2016? 8 years ago? When I did my itty bitty dipping my toe into philosophy, is that it feels like when you start to get in, all it really does, well, I shouldn't say all it really does. One of the things it does is it makes a lot of things that you thought you had a very solid grasp of, a lot more tenuous. Can we say that? Tenuous. Very weak or slight. Yes. Your understanding of things became more tenuous, where you weren't as sure before, where it's like, wait, well, I thought that this was obviously this, or this was obviously this. So categories of things, especially very broad concepts, like you could say, what would I say is a broad concept? I was going to use man or woman, but I know that triggers the fuck out of people. I don't know, anything. Yeah, we'll just say that. Any anything that's not just a simple physical object or any kind of like universal category. Like these things become very complicated in unintuitive ways. Like what is a cup or what is a chair or what is a table or whatever. These things can be very, like we take it for granted that like we just know these things. High cognitive development, destiny. True. Is construct aware, so it appreciates the insane complexity and metaphysically loadedness of a question such as what is a woman, and treats the question with the nuance and respect it deserves. Absolutely true. I do. So we see in this video is one mind of high cognitive development dealing with a dozen epistemically clueless baboons who act, racially loaded, who act like they understand anything, but actually understand less than nothing. Study this example carefully. Understand alone, high honors, not a matter of opinion. It's not that I agree with destiny. It's that destiny is construct aware. At least to some degree, its construct awareness is quite limited. Excuse me. But still orders of magnitude beyond a conservative pundit. No conservative knows what a woman is, which is why they act like jackasses when talking about this question. To understand what a woman is, you would need to do 20 years of advanced epistemology, and you would still not know. That's how serious the question is. But to a baboon, it seems that a woman is just tits in a vagina. Do you appreciate the death? Okay, cute. All right, whatever. I don't know anything about this guy. But I always appreciate the random glazing.
People bought Intel stock after I did, and people probably bought CrowdStrike stock after you did.
They should. I don't make bad calls ever. They should follow me.
I'm not wrong. I'm just early, right? Is that where we're at?
My Facebook calls were good. You and everyone else shot on me for them, and I beat the market after a year when I tossed that. Okay, I'm a long buyer. I'm a long-term capital gains kind of guy. All right.
I rolled all of my stuff into 2 plays: $30 calls at the end of December for Intel, and then $20 calls. I think I have 100 of them for December 26th. So we got a big position coming up in December that stuff will start climbing. I'm hoping. The whole thing, with Intel, it's interesting. The company, for whatever reason, is like, we're going to just change. So up for the longest time, Intel's main shit was just making processors, right? And they were good. They were the best. They were better than AMD. Up until recently. They were the better processor across the board, with the exception probably of power efficiency. Intel was always ahead. And then they threw it away. And now the big play that they want to do is like, hey, we're gonna have our own fabs. That's gonna be our big business. We're gonna produce chips in America. And we're separating that entire thing out from like making our own processors. So I don't know. I understand that there's probably a lot of value to being, because right now there's no real US-based chip manufacturer besides Global Foundries, but their shit is like 14 plus nanometers, I believe. There's no modern chip production that happens in the United States. Intel will be the only one that does it. But it's just, it doesn't make any revenue, and it's not going to for like another year or two.
Wait, Intel doesn't make any revenue? Oh, you mean the manufacturing in the US?
The fab shit's not up to the. Basically, they're trying to compete with TSMC, which is the Taiwan chip creator. That's like the high tech one. I do think it's good business long term. It is a little scary that the CEO seems to be so bad at being a CEO. I know he's supposed to be a technical dude, but I don't know why. Like, did you watch this whole thing with like the Intel processors, the ionization or whatever, oxidation of their over 65 watt processors?
Wait, have I seen what?
It's like this huge scandal right now.
I've heard that like the 13th, 14th gen chips are severely so much so that I think there's literally a class action lawsuit now against them.
Yeah, well, they're looking into it. But there's 2 things here that are. One is, regardless of how true it is, the way that Intel has handled this has been so unbelievably bad. It's like, you need to. I don't know who you need to fire there. It's just, why would they do this? Why would they respond to people like Gamers Nexus or Linus or any of these people that are like the PC hardware enthusiasts? Like, you would say, hey, this segment doesn't matter, okay? Gaming revenue, that's not a big deal to us. It's like 1% of our bottom line. We're a server market company. Fine. But you have to be not retarded about it and understand that these same people that are losing faith in Intel, that are gamers, are probably there's going to be crossover of some of these people who also run data centers or who work in data centers, and they're like, hey, let's go with Epic moving forward as a result of it. It's just like I don't understand why they are so bad at responding to criticism, and also I don't understand why there's like so little outreach to the hardware community as a whole
What does
for the
Intel even make
company.
their money? What do they even sell to? Is it mainly
It,
on these like new like consumer processors or?
it's server stuff. Servers is like I think the big part. So they have servers, they have fabs, and then they have like consumer revenue, etc. But they just this last quarter, dude, you don't understand. They shed a third of their value. Okay, they went from like 150 bill market cap to 100 bill. This is the price that they're at now. This is a 10-year low from them. Like I don't even it might be more than 10-year low for a price of how low it is right now.
Sounds like
It's
a good
insane.
buy. They're on sale.
Well, yeah, that's why I doubled down on it. But um, the question is, how early is too early to buy into something that will be valuable? Certainly, the only company that will have high tech fabs in the United States is going to have value, as because all it takes is one administration to say, "Hey, we're doing big tax benefits if you buy chips that are made in the United States versus in China or Taiwan or whatever," and Intel's the only one positioned to do that. As I
Didn't the
said,
Biden admin
global.
already basically do that with the CHIPS Act?
Yeah, that is a good thing. But I mean, that's like $10 billion or whatever that they gave to Intel. The question is, um, how early is too early to invest into something like this? If you know, I do know this will be an important strategic business and something that has a lot of value, but probably not for another year to 2 years until they're really going full speed on it. So the question is, when do you determine when to invest into a company like this? Right now, everyone's fearful, saying the company's being steered into the ground, but they're building out these massive fabs inside the United States with huge amounts of um, investment. And this is still a company, by the way, that up until like last year had the same gross revenue as like Nvidia did. So yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling with that part. Obviously, if you try to wait until 2026, the price isn't going to be what it is today at this point. So Dan, they fired 10,000 people. Do you think they're going to be fine in 1 to 2 years? Well, the question is, where are they firing those 1 to 2, or sorry, the 10,000 people? What department are they in? How are they? Apparently, Intel has this entire culture of like badges, and there's like blue badges and green badges determining if you're an employee versus a contractor. And it sounds like a really stupid way to run the company. Um, but yeah, Intel has 120,000 employees. I think they probably should maybe get rid of some. I think that company needs to be shaken up a lot. It's it's wild that Intel is at this place right now, the least valuable. Who would have thought Nvidia, a fucking graphics card maker, would be more valuable than Intel or AMD or just any of these companies? It's fucking crazy. Qualcomm, is Qualcomm more valuable? It might be. Um, yeah, Qualcomm's more valuable. Is Texas Instruments more valuable? Texas Instruments is more valuable. Like this does not make sense. You know what I mean? When you look at there's so much lack of confidence in Intel right now that they're just getting destroyed because Intel has it's trading below its book value. That's the wild. The assets that they have minus the debt and the prices below that. That's not a good sign. That means investors are just like panicking on this company. I love this stuff. Chatter. Dan Omegalol, you need GPUs for a lot of shit stuff. Yeah, and you don't need processors for a lot of shit also. And Nvidia makes GPUs, and you should probably stop breathing if I could make that suggestion for you. Um, yeah, I don't know. Boeing and Intel, man, those are the two. Those are the real plays to put $500,000 into, not CrowdStrike.
Oh yeah, how's Boeing doing?
I don't know. Both of these companies are like, what are you doing?
Who is Airbus a company?
Yeah.
Who else makes planes besides Boeing, Airbus? Who else does consumer?
Well, Lockheed Martin.
No, like
Oh,
consumer
commercial.
commercial planes.
Um,
Gulfstream,
yeah, but
Embraer.
those
I think I've only seen.
Embraer does. Yes, that's true. Embraer does. But I think they make smaller
I
jets,
think
like
I've
kind
only
of
seen in the U.S. I think
reasonable.
I've only seen like Airbus and Boeing planes. I might have seen Gulfstream, maybe one of those for an international flight. I don't remember.
No, I don't think so. That's like a jet.
Okay, maybe not then. I've seen weird names for some international flights, I think, but I don't. Who makes commercial planes USA? Delta Domestic is almost all Embraer, are they?
Okay,
Current US
Bombardier
Delta Domestic
doesn't
fleet.
make. We're not counting private jets. I don't think that counts. So Bombardier doesn't count. Their biggest plane only holds 19 people. Let's look at Embraer.
These look like they hold more than 19 people, no?
The Bombardier? No,
Well, this one holds
that's.
20. Okay, these are pretty small.
I wonder if Embraer makes commercial planes.
Oh, no, wait, never mind. You're right. That was 50 seats. Okay. It's different classes.
Which one?
It's 10, 20, 20. This, whatever this Bombardier CRJ 550 is.
Interesting. I don't know. When I go to their website, why, why would they not list this? Like when you go to bombardier.com/aircraft.
A lot of the parts in the planes come from different companies. It's really hard to start a plane company, but if you make engines or cabins or wings, it's easier. Yeah, that'd be my guess.
Oh, what are you thinking about for your CrowdStrike shit? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna? So first off, you can do the option shit.
I'm not signed up for any website that offers that shit. I haven't done any of the reading to figure out how any of that shit works. I just buy the stock and I sit and wait.
No, I understand you buy the stock. You understand what options are, right?
Yes, I understand that if I understood the math well enough, or if I understood what implied volatility and all that is, that I could technically hedge my position.
You don't have to know all that shit, right? The idea is that if you're putting $500,000 into CrowdStrike, you could just say, let me have the option that if this shit goes to $100, I'm going to make $400,000, and that doesn't cost you that much
Sure,
money
but
to
the
do that.
cost for those options are going to vary based on what the market thinks. Like, it's not like options just sell for the same price all the time.
No, they don't. Of course, yeah.
So
There is
I
wide
don't know if I haven't
volatility.
done enough reading to. I don't even know how those are priced out. So I just buy the stock and I sit on it.
Yeah. I mean, I only have bought options for Intel. Like, I'm not buying any of the stock there because to me, if I'm like, okay, I'm waiting 3 years, you get a fucking huge discount buying options on it. It's like you essentially the downside is, of course, you can be left with nothing. But if the stock kind of stays where it's at or goes up, you magnify your gains essentially. Well, I mean, it depends by whatever it is. But
The way that
hold
the
on.
premium works, if I buy options, it should always be a losing buy, right? You understand that?
Um, well, you're talking like what? If you buy insurance, you should always lose. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Well, no. That's that insurance is designed to insure, and also
Wait, insurance is designed to make the insurance
when you
sellers
buy
money.
options, like for instance, that's not necessarily that someone
It
thinks that you're
is.
going to lose
It should.
money.
Hold
It's
on,
that
let
they're
me.
saying, you know what? If Intel goes to $100 a share, I will gladly have sold it to you for $50 a share. So if you want to pay me right now for the right to buy Intel for $50 in 2 years, I'll do that. Because if Intel's $50 in 2 years, I'm happy. So that's why those people they collect a premium on it.
Yeah, but the
That's how
options
it works.
contracts are going to be priced in with what the market thinks the security is going to do, the direction it's going to move. So if there's a good chance that that security is going to plummet, there's going to be a big premium on those options. So the idea that I can just buy that as a free hedge is probably not true.
Well, it's not a free hedge, of course.
Not
Of
only is
course.
it not a free hedge, chances are it's going to be a losing hedge unless I feel like I have information that the market doesn't, or I can make a better buy.
That's not true. People, when they have large stakes in stocks, what they do is they buy negative options against it to protect their investment.
You're just stating what an option is, but
But no, but you're saying that by default it loses. That's not the case. Smart investors will do this strategy to make sure that no matter what happens, that their position comes out. I don't want to say ahead, but that they're covered in the case of a catastrophic collapse. Like for instance, you have CrowdStrike right now. What price did you buy into it as?
I don't remember. I think it's down 15% where I bought it.
Okay. Like maybe at 300 you bought it, or
let me check. Hold on.
when I said a negative option, I meant a put. Sorry, not a call. Jesus Christ. People losing their mind. All the actually a negative option. Just stop breathing, please.
Damn.
Okay, let's look at. I want to look at puts for CrowdStrike. So you bought 500K worth of this shit. When do you think it's going to be back? If you had to guess, when do you think it'll be back to the current price of where you bought it at?
I have no idea. Hopefully in a year I can sell it for a big profit. I have no idea. It's at 440 right now. What?
So let's go to September. Actually, no. Let's go to August 15th, 2025. Wait, why is it not showing prices on any of these? Never mind, I can't do it. I don't know. This thing is acting fucking crazy. Oh, wait, no, I can't. We'll just do April instead. Okay. So, what do you think the worst case is?
I don't know. They declare bankruptcy?
Okay. Do you care at all about protecting that downside at this point, or are you just in it, and if it goes to shit, that's it?
It's a security. It's a stock. A minute. If to protect downside means I have to sacrifice necessarily some upside.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Yes.
No, I don't care that much about it. I believe what Cake told me a month ago. They're here to stay.
What
He's my guy.
What I still don't. I mean, why do you not have full coverage insurance on your car? I mean, I guess
I
you
never
don't
get
drive
into
enough.
accidents. By this point in my life, my guess
But
is
it's not about someone else. It's about some unemployed, uninsured dude smashing into you.
my guess is at this point in my life, I probably saved more money in not paying for full coverage insurance than I would get even on a full payout right now. That'd be my guess.
Will you get full coverage if you buy a new fancy car?
I don't know. I have to think about it. Maybe, maybe not. Can you clarify your position on insurance? It sounds like you're saying it's never worth it to buy insurance ever because the insurance company is priced in such a way that makes profit. I hope this isn't your take because it's retarded. Good job, Mike. I don't feel like going into this right now because I'm too lazy to explain it, but the way that insurance is going to work on basically any event relating to buying a stock is what insurance is going to do. The way that the math should work out, assuming everybody in the market is doing what they should be doing, is on any given thing, if you buy here, hold on.
I hate you so much. This is such a bad take.
I know. Thank you. Yes, please cry about the same shit you cried about for years. I super don't give a. Okay. What insurance should do is, let's say that you buy a given security, and the security, let's say that you buy it at this point, and let's say that your hope is that the security rises, and then you can sell it at this point. Okay. Let's say that there's like a world of possibilities where the stock could actually go up like this much. And let's say there's a world of possibilities where the stock could actually go down this much. Okay. If you're using options or some other derivative contract to try to hedge against certain losses, what you're basically doing is you're tightening up your window of possible outcomes, right? So you're paying a premium on some type of option. You're paying a premium, meaning you're lowering your potential gains in order to decrease your potential losses. All basically what insurance is doing here, or what using options contracts in the form of insurance is doing, is all you're doing is you're tightening up the window of potential outcomes that could happen here. But if you're so confident, if you're so sure that the stock is going to drop, right? If you're so positive that this is going to happen, and that's why you're buying quote unquote insurance for it, then the premiums on this buy down here are going to be really, really, really high, and it's going to push your profit window to almost nothing, or it'll even set it below depending upon what the math works out at for some of these contracts here. But that's, yeah, but I don't care that much. It's not like that. I'm not like, if I was investing $100 million, maybe I would care, but that's what's happening. If you buy insurance, what you're trying to do is you're trying to smooth out adverse events over a long period of time. However, you're smoothing out those adverse events at a premium. The premium is the the price that you're paying that you wouldn't have had to otherwise in order to smooth out the volatility of those particular things. So if you're really wealthy, things like health insurance are generally a decent buy because the cost to you is very low, but you're hedging against a catastrophic event that could cost you tens of millions of dollars if you get like cancer. I don't know if cancer would be tens of millions of dollars, but like hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars potentially. You're hedging against those types of risks. That's what insurance is. Insurance is sacrificing some upside to protect against some downside. That's it. You're tightening your shit up.
Listen, I feel, especially for you, an umbrella policy and shit like that, you're like, oh, why would I do that? It's $3,000 a year. What a waste. And the difference is that one adverse moment in your life doesn't bankrupt you. Yeah, because you know what? $3,000 a year means literally nothing to you. It means nothing to you. But if you're driving and you accidentally smash into someone and you cripple them or you kill them, guess what? Your entire life savings is gone. Everything you have is gone. Okay, it's not just evening out the spread, it's preventing you from losing everything that you have because of a moment. Okay, and like there's policies like umbrella policies that cover pretty much everything that you could think of for the most part. Yes, there's carve outs, but there's even shit that would affect you directly. Things like defamation or libel or smashing into someone in your car because you drive insane. Like, yes, you can afford $40,000 to buy a new car. Can you afford the $2.5 million judgment against you because you're doing 75 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone and you handicapped some kid that walked out in the street that wasn't looking both ways? You probably are not going to be so pleased with that. So the idea behind the insurance is not so much protecting, well, it's protecting your investment, but it's protecting your investment from a total catastrophic loss. And you're a rich guy. To you, $3,000 a year means nothing. Okay, but it protects you from 100 different angles of you losing everything that you've worked for the last 10 years.
Bayzed, true.
You don't agree. You say Bayzed.
No, it's probably true. Why not sell options against your stock then? Selling options is going to do the exact opposite as buying options if you're hedging against risk. All selling options will do is they will increase your potential upside, but also increase your potential downside. That's all it would do. You're just widening or tightening the range of possibilities that could happen when you own a particular stock.
Is Rob or Pisco on the list yet, or no? Are either of them close?
Pisco is not even close. Rob, I'm not sure if I don't know if I'll talk to him again. We'll see.
What made you the most upset in that conversation? Was it literally just the lying to you? Like you were first off, I guess you were talking to him already with a level of like, okay, I have to play this game because you guys like explain away everything and this hand wavy bullshit, but now he's lying to you directly. Was that bit like, okay, I give you a lot of latitude and now you're just gonna fucking lie to me also? Or was it, I don't know. What do you feel?
The AI bot was really annoying. There was
Was it annoying because you were like, obviously you need people to argue with. It can't all be like, little mini destinies that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like there was one other thing he did that I keep forgetting to bring out that was more annoying than even the lying thing. But the lying is just annoying is because when I catch people doing things, sometimes there's like no repercussion. But I feel like if I were to do it, I'm not saying it would be the end of my debate career, but these would be things that would haunt me to the end of time. Yeah, it's very annoying that Pisco is trying to like crucify me, saying that I lied about reading that Colorado Supreme Court case. I still don't know where he gets that impression from. I'm trying to think of, he did something else. The lying about the ChatGPT thing was really annoying. I wish I could remember the other thing. Yeah, there's something else but the fighting on every single thing like relentlessly is like really.
Well, I mean, you knew so look, to a certain extent, these guys are bad faith coming in because for the most part, what they defend is undefendable, right? And they have to do like parlor tricks and debate tactics and whataboutism to even have a conversation with you. With many of the things that they talk about, it's like, let's go on and talk for 6 hours about the debate of what an insurrection is technically as it's defined here. Look, they said they don't do it, not they will not don't do it. It's like, what the f*** are you talking about? So why do you care so much that he lied about the ChatGPT thing when basically the entire premise of debating with conservatives is they're just all bad faith to begin with?
He tried to. Because later on he would go to attack my knowledge, saying that I hadn't read things that that I hadn't, but it's because he misunderstood how I was even citing things. Like I'm citing things from a different paper, it's called an amicus brief, somebody writing into a court to give arguments about some court cases. And then he's like, well, you're not even familiar with these court cases. I'm like, I'm familiar with them insofar as they're referenced in this brief, but I haven't read all of these underlying cases. No, but he's like trying to attack me for my level of knowledge and he's not even just asking the bot questions. He's like bloatedly asking the bot questions. And it's just, I don't know. That whole thing was very, very, very irritating. Him trying to attack me later on by saying that like, oh, like the Vietnam protests were all insurrections or whatever. I'm like, okay, which one? And he doesn't even have one. It just, all of that was just like really, really, I don't know. I think the whole thing was just very, very, very frustrating.
So is it beyond the pale of the normal bullshit you deal with it from them? Like, why is this that much more bad faith? It's just,
I feel like on everything else, like on the Durham report or on the, on stuff relating to Flynn or whatever, I feel like there are angles that you can argue, even if I think they're kind of wacky, but like a lot of it is like diving into the FBI reports, diving into the special prosecutor stuff and like having different interpretations. Like I felt like there was more, but maybe not. Maybe now that I'm Vyvanced up, maybe if I start reading a lot of this underlying material, maybe Rob actually is just insane. And I should have never given him credit. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll know if we do one more argument in the future. We'll see.
Why not just the fact that these people's livelihood depends on them being the best debater for the wrong position?
Yeah, but it doesn't even. He's not even like an online. He has a real job. He just does this like for fun on the side.
Sure, but you can say that. But also, he is getting a fan base. He's getting attention. Like that's another form of capital. Like people liking you and being your friend and things along those lines. Like that is another piece of the puzzle, right? It's not just
I don't think Rob sees me as like a clout leechy type of thing. He would try to jump on and argue way more. I don't think he's like that.
So you don't think he cares about like growing his audience or being big or anything along those lines?
I think he does a little bit, but if he wanted to do it like in a mischievous like leechy way, he would be going way, way, way more into that.
I don't know. I feel I'm surprised this, I don't want to say it's affected you so much or more so that you were just this like, that it got you this pissed off. Like this is.
Well, I think the issue is that like, it was like a 5.5 hour convo. It seems like it's really, really, really hard. It seems like it's really difficult to get people to approach adversarial conversations in good faith. And I tried so hard. Like if you watch the whole first hour, I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to crucify you with some definition. We can go back and we can redefine it later. I'm not trying to like get you. There's no traps. But like he could not move himself out of this like frame of mind of like, okay, let me just answer this. Or let's just figure out this hypothetical and we just move. Like he couldn't do it. That bothered the fuck out of me.
It's not that he can't do that. It's that they won't do it because doing it has them by default essentially losing whatever argument.
No, I understand. Won't, whatever. I'm just saying that it was beyond irritating to me. No,
it is irritating. Like, it's especially irritating, I think, because not all people on the left, but I should say people in the center, but people in the center are not, like, denying that Biden is old. Even when he was still running before Kamala, like yeah, he's old. I wish we didn't have a senior citizen that was going to be the president. That sucks. You weren't having Democrats, like, hand-waving this away like this wasn't going to be the case. But for some reason, every Republican... There's like no Republicans that's like, yeah, Trump's fucking old. He can't put a sentence together. None of them will do it. It's just, it's, I don't know. I don't know why it surprises you. That's all.
Yeah, well. One thing I've done with a couple people, and then Rob kind of unintentionally revealed this with the AI thing. One thing that I think was really interesting is asking people like, what would you search for? How would we search for this? I feel like I'm going to walk through more people with that. Like, what would you Google or what would we look for in order to find out, the answer to this particular thing? I think watching people do research and watching people search for things is very illuminating to figure out like how they're getting their opinions. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them just won't engage in hypotheticals as well. And that's the problem because hypotheticals are a tool to help us easily understand the problem as a whole. And you're like, okay, so Trump did this. How would you feel if Joe Biden did that? And it's like, well, that's different. Mm-hmm. That's not the same. How do you engage with that type of a person that will not engage in the most basic of a hypothetical, but instead wants to basically just change the entire thing? You can't. The answer is you can't. And you should only expect bad faith shit. You should only expect ChatGPT and erroneous answers and them you know one thing that you don't do, okay, is or at least I don't think you've done it recently, is tell me exactly where that's cited. You're not saying that to someone because you wouldn't expect, that's unreasonable to have someone to be like where that is. But they will do that to you constantly. It's like, okay, where's the law that says that, Destiny? Where's the law? And of course you're not going to have it. You know that it's a law. You know that it's somewhere.
Yeah, it's really not. I don't even care. The thing is, there's multiple layers of stuff that I get hit with that makes that unbearable. Like, I will never, and I say this to people, and if I do ask for a source in the middle of a debate, I will always say that, like, listen,
later,
I don't normally, or I'll say, like, listen, I don't normally ask this, I understand you might not have this on hand, but can you tell me what you read? Okay, like, even if I do ask in a debate, it's usually pretty, like, I'll hedge, or I won't hedge, but I'll say that, like, listen, I understand if you don't have this. But then whenever, when I'm in a debate with other people, they will, sometimes they'll hardcore, like demand, like, I need to see this, or show me that, or who sourced this, or where did you see this? And it's like, Jesus, okay, well, let me try and search for it or look for this particular thing. But then when the debates are over and then other people are talking about me, people say that I do all the other things that the other people that debate me do that I never do. Like principally, I just don't do these things. That drives me insane.
Yeah, they're I don't know. At what point do you realize, like, basically these people that are on the far right or far left spectrum are unreasonable, completely and truly. And it like, obviously we're harping a little bit right here on Rob and being a conservative, but you know that was the same with the lefty arc as well. These people are completely naive and will not do hypotheticals as well when it came to socialism. It's like, okay, so let me ask you this: under socialism, what happens when nobody wants to be
you'll ask a question, or you'll ask, like, what happens when a worker is lazy, and they'll be like, oh, that's an insane, I don't have the details of all of my plan and everything. It's like, bro, really? You can't even, like, this is like a very basic. I think Ethan did this to Hassan, didn't he? Like, Ethan asked a very basic question about and Hassan just, like, disintegrated
this list of weapons.
And it's like, really? You can't answer like this, just like this one simple question? Okay, dude. Yeah, but
I don't know. I feel, don't be so hard. I don't say be hard on yourself. Don't be like, you were, the problem is that you were giving Rob too much faith and credit and treating him like more of a person than he is, and you shouldn't have done that. And that's what it is. And I get it, he's a nice guy or whatever, but, like, he is a person that is serving to what?
You're about to dehumanize him. I can feel it.
No, I'm sorry. He's a person that is out there to serve his goals. He's not interested in changing his mind or learning from a subject. He's only interested in proving what he thinks to be right, or what he wants to be right in that case, right? These people, they're not listening to you. They're just waiting for their turn to talk.
Sure, but I mean,
it's funny.
If I don't conduct myself in a certain way, then it all ends up being worthless anyway. So, because then even if they did come to talk decently, then I would be getting no good conversation because I would just be going unhinged.
So one thing. All right. So again, I'm going to do some work on the show, the adversarial thing. Let me ask you, the biggest problem. I already know what the biggest problem is going to be. Let's say we get someone like George Santos or Trump or whoever. It doesn't matter, right? You're asking them a tough question, one that they don't want to answer. So, like, in the example of, like, Trump, it'd be like, do you still want to ban all Muslims? You said this. He's not going to answer that question, right? And pretty much any other person in that situation is not going to answer that question. They're going to do their typical ramble shit. How do we, when that comes up, make them answer?
I mean, I can make them answer. It's just, it's going to be very, very, very combative. And I don't think people are going to ever want to come onto the show.
But why do people do the interviews with Coffeezilla, right?
Because he's exposing them. If the New York Times, it's like a change in my mind. No, it's not. Yeah, if the New York Times emails me and they say, "Hey, Destiny, just curious, have you ever raped a kid?" I'm probably not even responding to that. That's a wild email. What the f? But if the New York Times emails me and they say, "Hey, by the way, we think you were a kid. We're running a story on this in 2 weeks. Do you have a comment?" You better believe I'm calling in and be like, "Oh, hold the f. What do you mean? What? I'm going to have all sorts of comments." Yeah. It's because Coffeezilla is breaking the story. He's doing the investigation. He's going to publish something on it. So when he calls people, of course he can get them to talk because he's about to publish something. So it's like, it's in their interest to say something at that point.
So I guess at the point for where we're at then is, what happens to the people after Coffeezilla? As an example then, right? So they just did a thing on or Logan Paul or something like that. He just did something on it. Where does Logan Paul go after this? He has a lot of people. He's going to fight now against the battle, right? Can we be like that? That arena. It's like everyone else has made their judgment on you. They're going on this show to answer hard hitting questions. Like that's the goal, I think, to be to that point. We're not out here.
Why would Logan Paul? The only shows he would go on, and I can just watch and see. Maybe I'm wrong. My guess would be the only shows that Logan Paul will ever go on to discuss anything relating to Coffeezilla are going to be shows with hosts that he has good relationships with. Dude's not going on to
for Logan Paul. That's a bad example. I would agree on that, but I think there are other people that would come to fight, more narcissistic people or whatever. Like, I mean, I hate continuing this. Like Martin Shkreli would come on if he was in like another controversy, right? Like he would come on and defend it.
But that's because he literally has nobody that would.
I don't know if that's true that he has no one. He does quite a bit of interviews. I think he has a pretty big presence. I think it's because he likes fighting. And I think there's a lot of people out there that believe that either they can sway your mind or that they enjoy the battle, that they would come on here. I mean, it's kind of like the entire like debate bro, ask yourself community. Like, why does that shit exist? Like everyone's like gearing up like, oh, he's going to go and try and debate fucking whatever that retard's name is, Darth Dawkins or whatever the fuck it is. I think there's enough people out there that want to explain and think they can spin their narrative enough that we would be swayed that they would come on and do it. If it was like a finding the truth type of show.
Okay.
As someone
you can reach out and ask.
I will. Are you and Shkreli good, by the way? I do remember last time it was a little frisky, but did you patch it up after that or no?
I can't tell with him. I have no idea.
That is true also, what someone says. There has to be some episodes where we're convinced by the person. And it can't always be like we're dragging someone over the coals and we're coming in there with a preset mind and that's it. If there are episodes where we don't know the situation, right? We know this person's in a huge drama and they come on there and we ask them questions like, okay, so why did you do this? Like there should be episodes where they are exonerated. It's like, oh, that makes sense. That's really fucking stupid. This is happening to you. This is like omega cringe. Basically, a few accounts tweeted this. It got picked up and no one even knew this piece of thing that you weren't allowed to do this. Like, I think that is what makes people come on, hoping that they're going to have that moment.
Yeah. I mean, we could try it. Yeah. All we could do is try it, see what happens, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you can get it done, it would be fun to do. I just think it's really, really hard to get anybody to agree to show up.
I agree. It's going to be hard, but I got a plan.
Okay.
That's step one of the battle. All right. I'll let you get on to January 6th. What's the culmination of all this, by the way? At what point are you Israel'd out on J6? How much longer?
Hopefully 3 days.
I think 3 days and you'll know enough about this.
Well, it's not about knowing enough about this. It's about having putting together the story. But
when you say you're putting together a story, what do you mean? I thought
I think there is a
conservatives. Go ahead.
I think that there is a it's not. It's just about putting out a nice video. I think there's a very cool, very interesting story about everything that happened relating to the Trump coup stuff. I think that the narrative has been completely obliterated by conservatives and the whole Trump derangement syndrome and everything. And so nobody's like put together like a cohesive, interesting, like just telling of everything that happened with like a really strong sourcing document to back it all up. So I'm just kind of, doing that.
Are you actually going to do like a Johnny Harris style video?
I don't know if August is up for like editing something like that, or if I don't even know.
That would be if you do that, that's good. That would be awesome. Okay. If you do one of these every once in a while, that would be based. Okay. Do one on Israel, like a 1 hour video where you do, or I don't know, maybe not an hour. That's too long, but a Johnny Harris video, you can do that and you can make it compelling. And there's and you'd have all the facts. You wouldn't be even doing bullshit about it, right? Like that would be based. Why would August not want to do that?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know how hard that video would be to produce, maybe. But yeah, no, I mean, it'd be good. They're probably good, but well, we'll see.
Okay. All right, I'll let you go. Have a good one.
Have fun.
See you later.